Most people treat this like a moral question. Should I invest while I still owe money? Like there's a right answer hiding in some finance book, but here's what actually matters: the interest rate on your debt versus the growth rate in your portfolio. That gap decides whether you retire at 58 or 73. And most people get it backwards because they're operating on guilt instead of math. I'm Mint. And if you've ever stared at a credit card balance while your 401k match is just sitting there untouched, this is the video that ends that paralysis. Because the real cost isn't the debt, it's the 15 years you lose by making the wrong move today. Here's what nobody tells you: every dollar you put toward debt instead of investing doesn't just cost you that dollar. It costs you every dollar that dollar would have become. And every dollar you invest while carrying high interest debt doesn't grow, it bleeds. The question isn't philosophical, it's a simple comparison that most people never actually run. So here's the number that decides everything. What's the guaranteed return on killing your debt versus the expected return on your investment? If your debt costs you 8% and your investment might make 7, you already know the answer. You just don't want to accept it. Let me show you why this matters in retirement age terms. Take two people, both 35, both making 70K a year. Person A has 15,000 in credit card debt at 18% interest. Person B has that same 15,000 in an index fund growing at 8% annually. Fast forward 30 years, person A, if they keep minimum payments and never invest, retires never. Person B retires at 65 with that 15,000 turned into over 150,000. But here's the real scenario. Person C pays off that debt in 2 years aggressively, no investing during that time, then starts investing the same monthly amount they were using to crush the debt. Person C retires at 67. Not 65, but not never. That's the math people miss. The delay cost is real, but it's not catastrophic if the debt rate is high enough to justify the detour. If you want simple money math that turns panic into a plan, subscribe. I'm Mint. Now, let's run the actual comparison most people face. You've got 4,000 in credit card debt at 19%. Your employer offers a 5% 401k match. What do? Here's the breakdown. That 5% match is a 100% instant return. You put in 500, your employer adds 500. That's not investing advice. That's free money with a neon sign. So the move is this: contribute exactly enough to get the full match, then throw everything else at the debt. You're capturing the guaranteed 100% return and avoiding the 19% bleed. Anything beyond the match goes to the debt because 19% guaranteed loss beats 8% hopeful gain every single time. But here's the part people miss. Once that credit card is gone, most people don't redirect that payment into investing. They let lifestyle creep eat it. The car gets nicer, the dinners get fancier, and the retirement date doesn't move. That's the real trap. It's not debt versus investing. It's debt, then investing, then discipline. Let's talk about the 3 levers that actually change your retirement age in this scenario. First lever, the interest rate on your debt. Anything above 7%, you're probably better off killing it before you go heavy on taxable investing. Anything below 4%, like a mortgage, you can probably invest alongside it without bleeding. Between 4 and 7, that's where you run the actual numbers for your situation. But generally, you're prioritizing investing with maybe extra payments on the side. Second lever, the employer match. This one's non-negotiable. If your employer is matching and you're not capturing it, you're turning down a raise. I don't care if you've got debt. Get the match. It's the only true free lunch in personal finance. Third lever, your timeline. If you're 25 with credit card debt, the cost of delaying investment is massive because of compound growth. 30 years of market returns will dwarf almost any debt payoff benefit unless the rate is obscene. But if you're 55 with the same debt, the compounding window is shorter. Paying off the debt might actually be the faster path to stability, even if the math says invest. Because at 55, peace of mind and cash flow predictability start to matter more than max theoretical returns. Here's the mistake I see constantly. People treat all debt like it's the same enemy. They'll pause retirement contributions to pay off a 3% car loan while their portfolio could be making 8. That's a 5% opportunity cost compounded over decades. You just gave up years of freedom for a feeling. The flip side, people investing in meme stocks while carrying credit card debt at 22%, because you got to be in the market. That's not investing. That's gambling with a penalty. You're starting every trade down 22% just to break even on the debt interest. So here's the mint move. First, write down every debt you have and its interest rate: credit cards, car loans, student loans, mortgage, all of it. Second, contribute exactly enough to get your full employer match if you have one. That's the floor. Third, rank your debts by interest rate and attack anything above 7%, like it's on fire. Everything below 4%, you maintain minimum payments and focus on investing. The middle zone between 4 and 7, that's your judgment call based on risk tolerance and timeline. Once the high interest stuff is dead, you don't celebrate with a purchase. You redirect that entire payment into your investment accounts. That's how you turn a debt payoff into a retirement accelerator. Most people pay off debt and then just spend normally again, and they wonder why they're still working at 70. Here's the reality nobody wants to hear. If you're carrying credit card debt and not investing at all, you're probably not retiring early. Maybe not retiring, period. But if you're investing aggressively while ignoring 18% interest, you're also not retiring early. You're just paying interest on your dreams. The math is cold, but it's clear. Match the rates, capture free money, kill high interest debt, then invest everything you were using to pay it off. That's the sequence. Not debt or investing, debt, then investing, with the match captured throughout. Your retirement age isn't determined by your salary. It's determined by the gap between what you earn and what you keep, and how much of what you keep gets multiplied versus bled. Every percent matters. Every year compounds, and every dollar you misallocate costs you months of freedom on the back end. If this clicked, watch the one on whether your car payment is stealing your retirement next. That's where most people are bleeding without realizing it.